chat. Ashe, Kench'em. Gotta Kench'em all. Taham Kench here. I really love this card. It builds around in a few different shells. Soraka Kench is the shell that we've really seen this card shine in on the ladder results so far, where it's paired with healing. So every turn, this makes an acquired taste, which lets it swallow an enemy unit, but the unit that he's swallowing strikes him. So what this deck is looking to do with Ashe is a Frostbite champion. Frostbite says set a unit's power to 0 until end of turn, and Ashe Frostbite something when she attacks. Things like Rhinetusk Shaman, Frostbite every turn, and we use these various effects that Frostbite our opponent's stuff to serve up some frozen meals to Kench so he can gobble things up without taking much damage. We also have Kindly Tavern Keeper here, which while this is generally used to heal your Nexus, this can also be used to heal allies. So this can be something to keep Taham Kench nice and healthy. And then we've got some copies of Troll Chant here, because remember, temporary defense bonuses, if they're putting you to defense that's less than your total, this can basically heal you back as well. At the bottom end of the curve, we've got some things like Hired Gun, Sentry, and Omen Hawk to play to the board early against aggro decks. And at the top end of our curve, we've got some things like Howling Abyss and Feel the Rush to really generate some card advantage against the control decks in the format. So I'm going to go ahead and dive on into some games here with this and see how it goes. This is one of the decks that's up on my website. It's been a hot second since we played it. Hopefully it still feels reasonable here today. That's a happy accident, Hunox. What is the unit count in this deck? I don't have an answer to that offhand. Anivia, Mono Anivia. So this is a control matchup. So getting our Howling Abyss in the opener sounds fantastic. Babbling Berg is also card advantage. I'm going to mulligan these two. Babbling Berg always draws us Ashe. She's our only 5+ power unit. Kench is god-awful in this match. I'm going to mulligan looking for some of our cheaper cards to start here, hopefully. Rhyme Fang, not super cheap, but better than drawing super expensive things. Yeah, VGC's been a lot of fun. I've been really impressed with the depth that game has in general. And not to mention doing content with Carter as a second has been a lot of fun. Having someone there to bounce things off of. I think I'm just going to pass for this turn. I don't really want to trade Rhinefang Wolf for this 2-1, so I'm going to go ahead and just bank Spell Mana this turn, and then next turn we'll deploy Iceveil Archer to Frostbite this, and then we can attack him. Never consider playing singles. I don't think playing singles seems very interesting. The amount of permutations and things that can happen, and the amount of, oh, I just got, like, type countered to start seems really dry. I watched some other people that stream play some singles on Twitch, and it just didn't seem like very good, very interesting. Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do some more VGC stuff, because I think people that enjoy card games, there's some good overlap there. A lot of the same principles apply. Tom Hanks Ghost. Tom Hanks is still alive, isn't he? He was COVID positive at one point. I think I read and recovered. Thanks for the follow. This is a matchup that in general tends to be pretty bad for us. Our deck tends to have decent matchups against aggro decks and other mid-range decks. These Shadow Isle failure control decks are tough, although the Feel the Rush matchups aren't too bad because of all of our Frostbite effects, which is nice. Yep.
Continue without me.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
Alright, so we're up to 6 mana here.
Forever watch. All the world on one arrow.
I guess I just do this, and then if they want to attack, I'll flash freeze this. And then we can play Pup Out next turn and hit the egg.
Bring the storm. The time is right. Strike now. These are our lands.
The downside to this is if they have Rekindler, but I think we have to get pretty lucky in this matchup in general, because it's a pretty bad matchup. For reference, you haven't seen their archetype before. In addition to having lots of interaction for our threats, our Frostbites don't line up well into what they're doing. In addition to this thing eventually coming back, they have things like Rekindler and then eventually Harrowing to bring their larger things back into play. Although we have Howling Abyss and eventually this Field of Rush, so maybe there's a shot. Sir Mustache, thank you for the 18 months of support. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. These two cards could definitely steal. One thing worth noting is that, like, I am down to only one Ashe left in my deck here, and they are a Ruination deck, so Ruination can deal with Field of Rush.
No place for the kind.
So they're just summoning an extra egg. Yeah, I don't really want to let them draw with this, I don't think.
Ancient things trapped in the ice.
I think in most matchups you just attack in and take the trade in that situation, Label. At least that's been my experience in the past. You, like, trade your Ashe for something and then the wolf gets to eat something. You have to remember our deck basically has 6 virtual copies of Ashe in it with the Babbling Bird, so you really shouldn't be afraid to trade early and often. And I'm no closer to being a Shillionaire. Well, thanks to trickle-down Shillonomics, you are probably closer than you'd think to being a Shillionaire.
Snow, wind, and ice.
Welcome back, Zoblin. I appreciate it.
They're coming! Hide!
No backing down. A world in perfect state.
Okay, well, they didn't Vile Beast this, so step 1, this is still alive, which is nice. Timeson 2, thanks for the follow, welcome to the channel. We are also just dying fairly quickly here to all of their Anivias and stuff. We'll see if this has time to do its thing. I mean, all things considered.
Face me.
He's already leveled, unfortunately, which is worse for this card compared to most champions you could generate, but, you know, we'll take it. See if they have the ability to kill my Rhymefang Wolf here or not. Crumble. Crumble is a card you don't often see out of their archetype. Yeah, and then the tough part from here is that this gets to come back this turn. It's not a terrible pickup.
Then kindle anew.
Need some blockers here. So the hope at this point basically is that I get to...
Homeland.
My Ashe is at 3 out of 5. So Ashe's attack
Let's talk about your attack. Not the best you got.
puts him to 2. I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
the Freljord's true ruler.
So we drop this, and then the level up's not going to quite be good enough, or the Field Rush isn't even going to quite be good enough, right? Because this will freeze something, Ashe will attack, freeze something, they'll still have 2 blockers for our 10-10s, and then we die to these triggers in the backswing. Yeah, I think if we queue into this matchup again, I'm just going to auto-concede it on this deck. I don't think it's winnable.
Next time I'll use my good sword hand.
Got a good example there of why it's tough. Just play the rest of them. The Big Turco, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, like I said, the Field Rush Shadow Isles control matchup, I think is fine. This one against the Anivia deck is specifically not, though, because you can't just kill their threats like we can in the other one. Hey, thanks for the tier 3 HR Beck, and thanks for the 26 months. It's great to have so many of my regulars that came with me over to Runeterra. Game's great. Appreciate you being here. How many Omen Hawks is too many Omen Hawks, chat? I accept that this could be a mistake, but we're gonna make it together, okay? So happy together. I suppose the fact that they're probably the Go Hard deck makes keeping all these Omen Hawks worse. Maybe we'll see.
So pretty.
Omen Hawks and Omen Hawk accessories. Oh, King of the Hill.
Come on. Ready? Aim.
I blocked this one, but not this one, because I'm going to hook this one with the Challenger unit next turn. So there's no point in throwing one away for 1 point there.
If I kill you, I don't fortune.
No outsiders.
Is that Rhyme Fang Wolf thicker than NT? It's a good question. All these, oh, even the baby pup here can kill Twisted Fate with the challenge, which is nice.
I'm always up for a round or two. Hold it, partner.
Bay Skywater, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. If you attack with Frozen Tryndamere and Ice Wolf, does it... Ooh, that's a great draw. So I get to do this here to start. And then I think we'll Hired Gun this one. You attack Frozen Tryndamere with the Ice Wolf. Will it still level up, or does it kill it for good? No, it'll still level up.
Gets noticed around here.
Another round.
Oh, that's an ephemeral Doom Beast? Yeah, this attack is loose because that's an ephemeral one. I, like, traded my... Maybe it's fine. I traded my Innkeeper for 4 points of damage. It's probably bad. Ashe is a wonderful draw.
Bring me the calm of an ice-shrouded world.
Yep. And then next turn, I conveniently have 7 mana, so I'll be able to Rhyme Fang plus Ashe.
Where do you stand on cold shots?
The frost reveals all to me.
Nice. So next turn, we're banking 3 spell mana. Leading on Pupper here, so that way they don't know I have Ashe in the tank. I think this is the card that gives them the most information to make an informed decision with, so I want them to make a play before they know I have this, potentially.
Faster than my arrow? I think not. Swiftly now.
So Ashe frostbites that one. They can jump here if they'd like. They take 7 and their board is gone. They have not played a single go hard, so we're pretty far off having to worry about pack your bags. And we have this rolled up for next turn potentially as well. This actually means we could level this next turn as well too, so we have some choices for next turn.
There's another one!
Leveled Ashe means frostbitten things can't block. We kind of want him to have a deal 1 to kill the wolf, so we can have slots to Fielder Rush next turn. Thorn is really good at generating Jailbreak.
What's the water like down there, guys? Let's do this!
We do not have any official information on the remaining 2 regions, no.
Sends chills up my spine.
So, I think I'm supposed to actually hang on to the Fielder Rush for now, because I'm technically attacking for lethal as is, and they're a Ruination deck. So I think, like, playing this out is definitely overextending into Ruination, and that's how we lose.
I'll lead us to victory!
So they could have, like, a Vengeance or something for this, but... Grasp, sure.
Continue without me. Whoa! What's the water like down there, guys? I will unite the Freljord.
It's the first of those, right? Yep. Riot has officially said that there will be a rotation at some point, but they also said they don't have any official decision one way or another how that rotation is even going to begin to work.
Ice runs in our veins.
My personal speculation is that I would be surprised if we see a rotation happen before like 2022. This is their second. A particular deck in this game that's good for learning. My 2 recommendations for learning decks would be the Overwhelm aggro deck that's on my website, or the Spooky Mistwraiths deck that's on my website, both in the aggro section. Alright, so they have 8. So this technically... So I have to decide here what I want to do. I think it's probably Crystal Arrow. It's tough though. Like, I think I'm gonna have to just not... I think I'm gonna have to just be in trouble if they have Ruination.
A deal in coins and targets.
The frost reveals all to me.
I think I'm just gonna do this and accept that we died to Ruination. Not all of these decks play them, and not all of these decks play, even the ones that do usually don't play 3. I don't know, they've only got, they've seen 21 cards though too, so like... Sure.
Let us reconnoiter.
Am I interested in killing this? They're gonna get to block a number of my things. Feel like I'm interested in killing this. It also means this won't get damage marked on it, which is nice. Because I'm not killing them regardless, so I think working down their board a little bit here is fine.
You can't do this. Why are you here?
Why are you here? Feeling mixed results on Feel the Rush there so far. One thing I'm not certain of in the top end of this deck is if I like Feel the Rush more than Howling Abyss. So Howling Abyss is definitely better at grinding the opponent out because it draws more cards, whereas Feel the Rush puts more like burst oomph into play. Howling Abyss is much better against Ruination, for example. It just provides you with an endless flow of cards.
Well, you've already got hot boiling. Yes, but not for you, Army!
A true Freljordian welcome.
That is true. Vengeance means they did not have Ruination on the previous turn. So they drew it. It's good beats. Yeah, and I think this deck is pretty good at getting to parity. So I think there's a chance that I'm supposed to be playing Howling Abyss. I think at a minimum I'm gonna go ahead and flip the split I have at the moment in the other direction. I've got three slots at the top end right now that's like got one Feel the Rush. I had two Rush, one Abyss. I'm gonna flip in the other direction. Magical Jumbo, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm gonna full mulligan here, looking for our 1s, 2s, and 3s to block here nicely. Found one of those things. No 1-drop out of them is incredible for us, especially since our start is slow.
Coming in hot!
For the Empire. For the glory of Noxus.
What will you have?
What will you have?
Got something for him?
I've carved meat bigger than you.
Run while you can.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop Kench here.
Unbinged.
Because when I play Ashe next turn, this other Ashe will turn into a frozen flash freeze. Well, I guess that doesn't really do it, right? Because I won't quite have...
Fish in water.
Only have 4 extra mana left over.
Appetizers aplenty.
Through the coral. Blast him.
I could eat and then heal with Tavern Keeper, that's true. I kind of like going Hired Gun Rhyme Fang this turn, and then like Ashe next turn. Because next turn I'll have enough mana to Ashe, Flash Freeze, and Acquired Taste.
Dead men tell my tale.
Get bloody, get paid.
I'm sure there's something for my taste.
So Ashe threatens here. Oh, you know what? Was it not? Wasn't free to eat the keg last turn because I wanted to bank the spell mana, right? This is fleeting, so it goes away if you don't use it, but I don't think I should use it aggressively. If we can stabilize the board a little bit, Howling Abyss's card advantage will be impossible for them to beat. The question is, can we get the board stabilized enough to basically take a turn off to play the 7-drop?
But not that good.
Avarosans, stand together.
I think I like this. Start here, see what they do. And that's fine because Kench is going to be able to eat this still, right? The question is, do I want this Ashe to be an Ashe, or do I want to flash freeze here to save my wolf? I think I want to save my wolf. Those were real bad hits for them.
Unify the tribes.
Shed a tear.
Gobble, gobble. And then, you know, depending on what they do next turn, we might have that window I was talking about where we get to drop this out here.
No one's the wiser.
Is that Misfortunes Make It Rain? Or I assume it was Misfortunes Make It Rain. It says actual Make It Rain. I believe this is the champion spell, if it's the champion spell. I'll pass for now and see what they do. They're definitely attacking me. If they want to burn my mana and not attack, I'm okay with that.
Behind you.
Ooh, got some fight in ya.
I'm doing well, Kids Path. To everybody joining us, by the way, I've got a giveaway of Infernal Drake pets Guardians, whatever we call them here, for Runeterra. If you'd like to enter into that giveaway, I'm going to be picking winners in the middle of the month. All you have to do is comment on any or all of my Runeterra videos that go up on YouTube between December 1st and December 14th.
They got nowhere to go.
That is true, Quaddle. Older variations of this archetype did play that pre-nerf.
Make the Empire proud.
So, really glad I have Kindly Tavern Keeper here to gain some life back up. Makes us a lot less likely to get burned out.
Oh, I don't require a menu.
Leave your bags in the door.
Depending on how much reach they have here, they could jump up and kill us here still. They're through 1 Decimate and 1 Noxian Fervor so far. Yup. Zero, thanks for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm gonna kill this here, because it means if they don't keep a unit in play, they can't Noxian Fervor me. Yes, it gives you a leveled champion, not a 2-cost champion. So, they very likely have a 3rd Decimate in their deck.
Let us peruse this establishment's fare.
I will not be playing in the tournament this weekend.
Blood and sweat.
Ancient things trapped in the ice.
Nothing a little steel can't soothe.
This Noxian Fervor number 2.
Your king has returned.
Wasn't the flames what the depths could claim me?
Can I have your Prime Glory then? Unfortunately, those are non-transferable. Oh no! Oh no!
Something for all of you.
The fact that we have Twisted Fate means I couldn't first and then eat him. So he's gonna get to attack and trigger here.
Break their legs.
Let's talk about Runeterra.
What kills us from here? So I actually want Captor being captured. This ends with 12 power in play, and it kills this, right? So this means we shouldn't be dead to anything. I could have stacked the eat first. No, I don't think that works.
All shall drown.
Because I'm pretty sure once I play the flash freeze, it then goes through. This is fine though, right? 'Cause now we have them dead to open attacks. I don't believe they have any deal twos, right? Because this is +3 from eating that. Yeah, so we have 12 on open attacks now. So they have 1 Decimate left in their deck, and they don't have any units. And Decimate's slow.
Oh, I don't require a menu.
All or nothing.
And they don't have any units, so they can't Noxian Fervor, even if they draw that. Bluth and Nucius, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel, folks. Kent, welcome to the channel. Yeah, level Twisted Fate was really good. Abyss looking quite excellent there. And the more games I play, I wasn't sure how Feel the Rush was going to feel in this deck, and I'm glad we're playing some games with it. So far it's definitely felt worse than Howling Abyss. You target with Flash Freeze, and then you eat with Priority still on your side. Does that work? Like, can I still press OK to put the eat on the stack while I have... Because when I Flash Freeze, I'm technically putting Twisted Fate's thing on the stack, and my slow spell isn't on the stack yet because I haven't clicked OK. So I'm not actually sure if that works. I don't know if you can, like, put it in the middle, select the target, but not click OK, and then play the Flash Freeze. I don't believe that works, because it's not technically on the stack until you press OK. And, like, if I put the Acquired Taste on the stack and press OK, I then no longer have priority to Flash Freeze unless my opponent does something that I'm going to respond to. That doesn't work if my opponent doesn't respond, Beck. You can't respond to your own cards if your opponent doesn't do anything. That's not how this game... That would work in Magic, but that's not how the stack in Runeterra works. In Runeterra, once you press OK, it passes priority to your opponent automatically, and then unless they do something, the stack resolves. It's not like Magic where you can go like, okay, I'm putting this on the stack, I'm going to hold priority and then do more stuff. Yeah, but one of them was a burst spell. We're not talking about two fast spells. We're talking about a slow spell and a burst spell. That you literally can't, Kermig. That's not how Twisted Fate and burst cards work. I'm gonna mulligan this because X1s kind of suck in this matchup. I'm gonna keep both of these because they're decent pieces of interaction. This is an X1, so it like kind of sucks, but it draws a card when it dies, so it's mostly a wash. Yeah, Twisted Fate triggers are funky. They make burst spells pass priority, basically. You can play fast things in response, but that's still different. I think I'm actually, with this play here, I'm just going to press OK and bank Spell Mana this turn, and then I'm going to Rhyme Fang into Flash Freeze this next turn, I believe. Yeah, TF kind of locks you out of certain actions, exactly correct. Or he demands your sequencing work in a way that's atypical of how it usually works. If they have like Go Hard plus Vile Feast or like Unspeakable Vile Feast. Now they can't kill this before it kills Elise, and I think I want to burn the Flash Freeze here to keep my pupper alive. It was a good back and forth regardless. And to be fair, it's not a super straightforward interaction. Because like I said, Twisted Fate makes it behave differently than it normally would in a situation like that.
I'm always up for a round or two.
I think I just let this happen and just play Tahm Kench here.
Didn't prognosticate this, did you?
You stay away! I give Gecko a bat!
I mean, the wolf could trade with, like, it's kind of like trading this for this, kind of, right? Because, like, if I keep the wolf alive, it can hook something else.
I'm sure there's something for my tastes.
I deal in coins and carnage.
Yeah, it should be like 2 weeks till we get the next card drop. Mid-December. I would imagine it's probably gonna happen after the seasonal tournament if I was a gambling man. much of this game is actual skill, and how much does it depend on your deck? I mean, all card games have variance by design. You need to have a competitive deck of cards to play like any card game. That being said, acquiring a competitive deck of cards is much easier in Runeterra compared to most other card games, and Runeterra also has a much lower percentage of just strictly bad cards because Runeterra is not trying to fleece you with booster packs. They just let you buy exactly the cards you want directly. They don't have a reason to make cards that are bad. So even decks of more random cards that you put together tend to be much higher in power level in Runeterra than random piles of cards would be in other card games, because other card games tend to have lots of intentionally bad cards in them, whereas Runeterra does not.
Gotta go with the flow.
I have 8 total mana here. I mean, it's not just Magic Portal. It's basically every other card game. Magic's probably more than most in terms of intentionally putting bad cards into their sets, but most card games put bad cards in their game because they're trying to sell booster packs. That's not just like a Magic the Gathering thing. That's just like a card game thing.
Son of a...
Magic has improved the power level of its commons in recent years. Don't post silly things in my chat. What's the stupid green card that's like literally a meme? That's terrible that always shows up that they keep printing. So this saves us 2 life on a hit from this, and it heals Tahm Kench too. So I think that's worthwhile. Yeah, Colossal Dreadmaw. That's the one. Also, I didn't strictly say commons and uncommons were bad. I said they put filler in their packs. Those games don't discriminate, chat. There's shitty rares and shitty mythics that are filler too. It's not just commons and uncommons that are filling your packs full of BS that make it difficult for you to get cards that are valuable and good.
You gotta believe me.
You know, honestly, I'm gonna attack with all of these. I'm not sure I'm actually eating. The Kench is interesting because the threat of Kench kind of dictates how the game is played on my opponent's side, which is sweet. Alright, don't crumble me. If they crumble us here, there's a good chance we lose.
Well, you've already got a pot boiling. Yes, but not for you.
Their archetype does go very wide. Thankfully, I've got 6 points of healing rolled up in my hand, and I've got Harsh Winds here as well. Cheap champion, cheap champion. Eh.
Oh, I don't require me.
We could see open attacks here. I think if they open attack, I'm going to block here and then Harsh Winds these.
Another nibble.
Doesn't MTG need filler cards for its draft formats? God! You people have Stockholm Syndrome. Get some help. Get some help. It's amazing how much people have been conditioned to defend these companies and their shitty decisions. No, limited formats don't require you to have a bunch of unplayable cards in your format. Cube master sets that are intentionally high powered, all of the, yeah, it is a choice to have intentionally really low power limited formats. Petrophy and Hiliads, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel.
Late now.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't attack with these was real good for us. Now, what's like a worst case scenario from here? They go like Twisted Fate gold card into pack your bags, kill this. It's probably a worst case scenario. It's a second go hard. They're 2 off of yeah, Howling Abyss is a good value engine if we can get there. The question is, can we live to get there?
Again. Go on then.
Opponent's shooting through a lot of cards. We haven't really played this deck since this deck became popular. I mean, all things considered, a 2/2 elusive for 1 is, like, actually kind of good here, huh?
Leave your bags in the door.
Yeah, and, like, it has no other text, because my opponent has no puff caps in their deck. But all things considered, I'm kind of okay with this, I think.
Another day in the field.
With king and country.
My opponent just passed with 2 fleeting cards and 8 mana. Deal.
I'm sure there's something for my tastes.
Yeah, I think they expected me to attack. I think they definitely expected me to attack. They're one of the many examples of how the priority system in this game can be very punishing to people that aren't familiar with it. Mastering understanding when passing is good and when it's not is very, very important in Runeterra. They are two pack your bags, or 2 go hards away from telling us to pack their bags. So there's a good chance that happens here soon. This survives that. This could survive with Troll Chant. I guess I could theoretically drop Sajani here, because she survives.
Carved from the
She survives a go hard as well. Well, I guess this is technically gonna die, huh? Oh, I also have an attack token this turn from this rally, which is sweet. Alright, and now I get to attack.
attack.
Wait a minute. You pay first.
You can level Twisted Fate, slow, and burst spell. You can see the screenshot of a blue card for burst spell and have the option to resolve or pull back the parlay. Really weird. Yeah, no, that's not intuitive to me at all, Jeffries. Now, the opponent's archetype does play Ruination, so we could see a sweeper here. That being said, like, Ruination here isn't that big of a deal, right? Because, like, if they ruinate me here, I get to, if they ruinate me here, I get to just go ahead and Field Rush next turn. They could tell me to pack my bags now. Now do I just do this and then open attacks next turn? I think that's the play.
Come on in.
Listen, this card is just one of the most fun cards in this game. It's just like the play patterns that it generates are sick. Hey, nice Precipic. This cat is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Duke Derpington, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Keep up, keep up.
She is more than ready to level.
No going back.
So this is likely pack your bags. That's fine. I go to 9.
Avarosa, guide me.
Hey, thanks for the reset, Hunox. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Faster than my arrow?
I think not. Okay. Yep. And then still down here.
Avarosan, stand together. A new Freljord will rise.
A new
Face me,
Freljord
coward.
will rise. Yeah, if you having a plan against fearsome, whatever your lineup is this weekend, you should make sure you have an okay fearsome matchup, or at the very least have a plan. The fearsome deck's very good in general, but you want all the decks you're playing to like have some kind of strategy to execute there. Hero NK, welcome to the channel. Welcome to everybody for hanging out tonight. Thanks for dropping in. If you're new to the channel, I stream full-time here on Twitch. About half or a little bit more of my content is Runeterra. I also do other single-player, or also do other turn-based strategy stuff. Play a little bit of Pokemon VCG and other random stuff. Also do some single-player story-driven games as well. I'm here 6 to 7 days a week, a few hours in the morning and a few hours every evening. I appreciate you dropping in today. Draven Ezreal, eh? I'm mulligan these two. Never mulliganing Omenhawk on one. I think I'm going to keep Babblingberg. This is an aggressively slanted mid-range deck. Not quite an aggro deck, but an aggressively slanted mid-range deck. So I want to keep my card advantage here. Old Suede, thanks for re-upping the Prime support. Welcome back. I appreciate it. I do also have some giveaway stuff coming up. Riot's given a bunch of the people in the League Partner Program 20 dragon pets to give away. And I'm going to be giving mine away to folks that drop comments on my Runeterra YouTube videos between December 1st and December 14th. If you want a chance to snag a free Infernal Drake, leave me a comment over on YouTube. I'll be picking winners on the 15th or 16th after the window for leaving comments on videos is closed. Z-Luck, welcome to the channel. That's true, Hylides. Praise be to the algorithm. Sponsor perks indeed. Riot's great. As someone who's been making content with various games for close to a decade now, Riot is easily the best company I've ever worked with in terms of people that make games. Stop talking about the dragon, you're ruining my chances. Stupid, sexy Rito. Give him the snowball! Give him the snowball! Imagine a company giving the people that advertise their game free stuff to give away. It's wild. They are a Mystic Shot deck. So, like, yeah, maybe I'm just supposed to eat the 2-1 there because they're a Mystic Shot deck. I don't know, it's probably fine either way. Their start's slow. Like I said, they can be more controlling sometimes, so like Howling Abyss hopefully gonna have time to do some work in this matchup. Welcome to Runeterra, Bloof. It's a lot of fun. As someone who's dipped into almost every card game, every major card game that's existed over the last little bit, Runeterra definitely has the best core game engine of any I've ever played, in my personal opinion. Riot's got a great mix of something here. Do you have a champion here? Draven or Ezreal are both pretty reasonable for them. Probably just dropping the Babbling Berg. Remember, the only 5+ cost unit in this deck is Ashe. This is guaranteed to draw us one of our 2 champions there. That's true, Quaddle. That's a good observation. They could just have Static Shock. So, passes like this are really important. So, a pass like this, I am required to ask myself a really important question. Who do I think is more likely to win this game as it goes long? I think with this Howling Abyss in my hand, the answer to who is more likely to win is me. And that might be wrong. I haven't played this matchup a ton. But because I think we're favored as this game goes long, I'm going to end the round. They are burning 1 more mana than me, which is also factors into my decision a little bit. But that pass there basically just gives me the option to extend the game. And I think extending the game is beneficial to me. So I would like that to happen. My opponent's saying, hey, would you like the game to go longer? And I'm answering, yes, please. Learning, and that's why practicing the deck that you're going to be playing is so important in Runeterra, because being able to properly identify when you're the aggressor and when you should be the deck playing to pass and go longer is really valuable and will win you a lot of games in Runeterra. Theron's scary to a degree. I have a gain 3 here in my hand already, and I have ices and stuff to deal with him, so like, I don't know that it's that big of a deal. Ashe also gives me the ability to close games out pretty quickly, which is nice as well. Do I care enough about this to kindly Tavern Keeper it? They're obviously setting up for a Mystic Shot here. I don't think I do. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and Babbling Berg. Nah, I think I'd rather just like get on the board and get the Ashe down. I could also just drop the Howling Abyss next turn. It's potentially very valuable.
Nothing escapes my watch.
They don't have mana for Mystic Shot. If they had mana for their Mystic Shot with this, I'd probably Ice Veil Archer, but they're out of resources here, so.
If you could back it up.
And then I think I'm opening on attacks next turn. This is going to go ahead and Frostbite this. So all of these trade into the Ezreal, which is great for us.
In Avarosa's name.
I didn't do nothing.
Firing!
Nice.
I think I dropped the Howling Abyss here to get set up to play to go long. Can you tell me what play my opponent has made is indicative that makes you think they have Captain Pharaon? Oh, they discarded a Pharaon. That might be realistic. I can see that. They could also just have, like, you know, they have 9 cards in their hand.
I'm in.
They could be waiting from that perspective, too. Just take this hit.
Can't stop me.
Push back the darkness.
All the world on one arrow.
So I notably cannot Tavern Keeper this turn now. I think that's fine.
Failed.
Okay, this level's Ezreal. We can play out at least.
Surprise myself.
Guide our allies, my friend. Beautiful.
Evening Fabricator. So Ezreal's not quite as scary as he used to be, but still a card that we need to be concerned about. Huh? So I have 12 mana total. I think I lead on Ashe and see what they do.
Ignite the Freljord.
This, leading on Ashe, leaves me the flexibility to go this into this still. Could also potentially Lulu this turn. Are they dead? Not quite, right? We have 6. I can frostbite 4 things. They'd still have 2 blockers. How aggressive do I want to be this turn? Yeah, I think it's Rhyme Dusk.
Bring me the calm of an ice-shrouded world.
And I think we're attacking to start working down their board here a little bit.
Show me a target.
I'm not letting Ezreal hit me next turn. He's definitely getting flash freeze, so like putting this into what's it called range seems fine. I'm at 16, but each of these basically deal 5 is a thought to have.
Sends chills up my spine.
That's a great pickup here too. Leaves us a little bit of flexibility.
I'm in.
My aim is true.
This gives us a crystal arrow on top of our deck now as well, which is great. Yep, we are at a virtual 19 with Tavern Keeper is also correct. She's dead. You killed her. I think I need to Tavern Keeper this turn, right? I either need a Tavern Keeper this turn, or I need to open on it next turn. They have too much interaction, I think, to like be happy with the Hearthstone lethal is the problem. I don't think I'm opening on attacks next turn. I'm gonna play Shyvana plus Innkeeper here, Tavern Keeper here, and then we'll probably play Ashe plus Lulu next turn before we attack, I think. Although I might want to Harsh Winds. Yeah, it's probably just Ashe into Harsh Winds next turn. I don't think we're using Lulu's spell. Oh, I forgot we had that coming still too. Huh?
I will unite the Freljord.
The problem here is each of their decimates do 5, so if they decimate here, I have to attack. Because if I pass priority, I die to the other decimate. Yeah, there were a lot of permutations of things I could have played last turn and this turn, and I don't think I arrived at the right ones. Yeah, but then they eat her with Captain Pharaon, press a pick. It could have like also been right to play Tom Kench last turn to like get rid of this line.
Do not test me.
As the arrow flies.
I can frostbite 3 things, but then they still have 2 blockers.
This'll be fun.
Yeah, we're on like technically not dead yet, but basically dead. I mean, the difference is 1 point of life, press a pick, which doesn't really matter. No, we have the Strafing Strike to kill Ezreal here. Okay, so none of our decisions mattered and we were very dead. Good, that makes me feel better. There were a lot of permutations at the end there. And I definitely don't think I made the correct ones with the information that we had with the timers and what they're at, but ultimately it just didn't matter. Had seven points of reach rolled up in hand. Alex, I mean, to be fair, like 24 of those 25 months have just been 2020, right? Thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Good evening. Mulligan, the Ice Veil Archer, X1s are really bad against their Go Hard deck. Troll Chant, Kench, and Rhyme Wolf all sound good. These cards deal with their champions, which is something we want to. No, Ezreal Draven is not a mono Go face deck. They're more of a mid-range deck. They have a kind of aggressive slant. The better comparison for a Draven deck that's more aggressive is the discard aggro deck, the Jinx Draven deck. Neko, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. A lot of the cards in Runeterra have a good amount of flexibility to them and fit into a range of archetypes. Yeah, I think calling Draven Ezreal a control deck is also a misnomer. I agree with Precipic. I think it's a mid-range deck with an aggressive slant. Mid-range decks tend to either lean aggro or lean control. And I think Ezreal Swain is mid-range lean control, and Ezreal Draven is mid-range lean aggro. As is usually the case, like, what exact archetype something is tends to blur, especially in the mid-range territory. Mid-range decks, for people that aren't familiar with that term, generally refers to decks that assume different rules and different matchups, so sometimes they're the beatdown and sometimes they're the control deck. So, like, for example, in that last matchup, Draven Ezreal was the beatdown against us, but against Fearsome aggro, Draven Ezreal would be a control deck. Like 5 Niv, 6 at the absolute most. I think 6 is the ceiling. Usually 3 to 5 though. Allegiance is super restrictive if you're trying to hit it consistently. You want to as little of a failure rate as possible.
Deal me in. Hold it, partner.
Hey, J-Ray, thank you for the 28 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I agree with that, Siska. Against basically every aggro deck in the format, I would describe Ezreal as Ezreal Draven as the control deck. Well then.
The war is over. Now we rebuild.
Now we rebuild. Commissioning new animations is very expensive, multiple of 0. So, after taking a significant hit to my income to change to Runeterra, no, I'm not planning to pay for new sub notifications anytime soon. They're functional. It's technically not a magic card either for copyright reasons. It's technically just a generic card back that has similar colorings, but spent my extra budget spending a few $100 to get all the banners set up for the Runeterra Dex page on my website, so that's like my development money as a way to put it, I suppose. No plays on 1 or 2 out of Misfortune Gangplank. Sounds good for us. I feel like the odds of them having nothing there are really low. There's a good chance they have Misfortune, just didn't want to play her out into my Challenger. So, I think passing there to deny them the ability to use their mana is good.
Fortune favors the bold.
Look at that, chat. Just like we drew it up. I don't think they want to attack with Misfortune anyways here, so I think I'm actually going to Ice Veil Archer this crack shot. Yeah, Keg Idiot also could have been a very real play there.
Nothing escapes my watch.
I think I'm going to offer this trade here. See what they do.
Gotcha in my sights.
What's going on, Snacks? Yeah, my name's going Swizzle.
I'll be damned.
Life is good. Kind of awkward. They don't really have anything I want to use my mana on this turn. I don't think I want to play these out with nothing to heal at the moment. So, burning 3 mana there. Not great.
Looking for trouble? It found you. War Mason, reporting for duty.
Nah, I feel like it's unnecessary. The thing about donation goals that are important to understand from a business perspective, J-Ray, is that, like, donation money from the community is, like, some of that money would have gotten donated or contributed anyways. So, like, when you set a donation goal with a specific thing like that, it's going to impact my other income in other places. Some people will contribute specifically to a goal that weren't anyways, but to a degree that some of that was money that was going to happen regardless. So there's a balance with that kind of thing. It's basically like me spending money on it. Yeah, you're front loading the money essentially. Is exactly what it comes down to.
Let's talk about your tab.
My life for Avarosa. If it's a fight they want, look out for reef.
If I put this here, I can troll chant to make these trade, which is kind of nice. I can do this here to make sure this doesn't overwhelm and hit me, so it gains me a little bit of life too. Really looking for like a Babbling Berg or a Howling Abyss or a Feel the Rush, a way to generate a little bit of card advantage at the top end. Not quite looking for Omen Hawk. That is not the droid we're looking for. Okay, that's not terrible. Evening Broken Appendages. We're gonna keep our wolf alive this time. If they have like a deal 3 here, I get to go ahead and troll chant to save it. Hoping to fade Gangplank here. Wow, have they really only dealt damage to me one time? That's so good. Them being on an empty board and casting Decimate is really, really good for us. Perfect. That is exactly the droid we're looking for.
Welcome to the tipsy hour.
Red Rover, let Pharaon come over.
For silver I thought, for gold I feasted.
Little unfortunate that they didn't attack last turn into the Harsh Winds. Really wanted to use our mana there.
If they don't break, they'll burn. You.
Alright, so we're at a virtual 2 once they spend their mana here.
I'll make corpses of them all.
We have a heal. Oh, I'm dumb. I didn't hook the keg because I'm dumb. Should definitely attack and hook the keg there. I gave him a free point.
Break their legs. I've carved meat bigger than you.
Okay, that combat went better than expected, I think. We'll play our happy little war criminal here first. We're going to wait till next turn to play the hired gun because we want this to get its power back so that way we can hook it when it's vulnerable. So, if I lose this game by 1 point of life, we could have won it if I would have hooked the keg better.
Like a fish in water.
Look at that, Timo. They all laughed at you, Timo. Now you block a zap. Now who's laughing, chat? Now who's laughing? Still you? Okay, sure. Huh? That's really, really not great for us. Howling Abyss being less than stellar here. It's not been a good Abyss game. You are not wrong.
Faster than my arrow? I think not.
And they could just have a second decimate naturally here to kill us next turn.
I am reborn of salt and brine.
Quickly now. Avarosa, guide me!
Thunderous Knights, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
This is outrage.
Routes closed.
I think there's a good chance that they're burning us out next turn.
Signing off.
Remember that time I missed an attack and gave them 1 extra point of damage? Pepperidge Farm members.
Coming in hot.
Answers, I have them.
I have them.
War Mason, reporting for duty. Make the Empire
Technically not dead to heads up information. This puts us to 2, this puts us to 1. Dead to a stiff breeze. 3rd Innkeeper, best draw on our deck. 3rd Tavern Keeper. Oh right, we knew that was coming, right?
Let's talk about your dad.
Run while you can. The shadow approaches.
Nah, it doesn't matter. Innkeeper doesn't save us from this, mate.
Forgive me, Avarosa.
Forgive me, Avarosa. kind of a sad set. I wish we didn't really have many good Kench games in that set, which was unfortunate. I kind of feel like I wish I had another decent source of card advantage other than just like Howling Abyss and Babbling Berg. Definitely felt like I was sputtering out and running out of cards to play with some consistency. And maybe the answer is just like playing more copies of our cards that help us get to those cards. Like the Feel the Rush at the top end, I think ultimately ended up feeling worse than Howling Abyss. I don't think I need 3 of this big effect at the top. So I think at a minimum, I'm cutting that and I'm going back up a Sentry. I suppose we could just play some copies of Salvage in this deck, right? If like just some draw twos is what I'm looking for. Like that's just like actual factual 4-mana draw 2. Croaker. I don't think I have enough cheap units to make Croaker good consistently, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think some amount of Salvage. Yeah, and actually, Neko, that's exactly the cut I was thinking of. So the last time we played this deck, and this is a good thought, thinking about how you need to adjust things as formats change, in that Iceveil Archer's gotten much worse in a world where Go Hard is like an established meta threat. And honestly, I could see just like going down to even one of these to get a pair of Salvages in here. Like let's take a look at what our curve looks like with that change. That could be okay. It's a good number of 4s, but Salvage is also like a 4 because it uses spell mana, so it doesn't measure exactly the same. Yeah, I could see Brittle Steel being more reasonable than this in general because of the threat of Go Hard. The resource efficiency on Brittle Steel is often very good. I kind of like that suggestion. I think I'm into that. Curves are for people that don't believe in the heart of the card, something like that. I think I like that. I'm gonna update the list on the site to do this, I think. So notably, Feel the Rush ended up feeling kind of awkward with our 2 champions that we have. Howling Abyss definitely felt better as like the biggest piece of top end threat. Went back up an Eversonian Sentry, so that way we can find those cards more consistently, and then just a couple copies of Salvage, just a generic, like, draw 2 cards, so, like, accumulate cards back up, so this gives us, like, 7 pieces of card advantage, which seems like a pretty good number for a mid-range deck. Weens, thank you for the 35 months, really appreciate that tier 2, welcome back.